This week, the New York Times suddenly has sympathy for an insurrectionist. Life as the victim of a January 6th conspiracy theory, Ray Epps became the unwitting face of an attempt by pro-Trump forces to promote the baseless idea that the FBI was behind the attack on the Capitol. Baseless? Then why hasn't the FBI denied involvement?
Epps wandered around the crowd that had gathered, and there's video out there of him chanting, "Tomorrow, we need to get into the Capitol, into the Capitol." This was strange behavior, so strange that the crowd began chanting, "Fed, Fed, 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 Fed." Ms. Sanborn, was Ray Epps a Fed?
Sir, I cannot answer that question.
It's even stranger New York Times would use the adjective baseless about FBI involvement when it was the New York Times that wrote this article in September of last year. Quote, among those who marched into the Capitol on January 6th, an FBI informant.
This is bull.
Now New York Times says Epps is the victim of a conspiracy theory? Then what's this?
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed.
And as Revolver points out, here are some questions the New York Times reporter didn't bother to ask Ray Epps. Why did Epps travel all the way to D.C. and skip Trump's speech? Where did Epps get the idea to urge people to go into the Capitol? Did the reporter ask how, despite this video evidence, Epps was never arrested or jailed? Why he was quietly removed from FBI's Most Wanted? Maybe we should ask AOC if any of this was an inside job.
These insurrectionists,
Like Antifa?
and that there were actual officers working with this, and we never got to the bottom of that, and we never got any answers about that, and then to this day we're just supposed to pretend that that never happened.
What about Antifa?
I have no idea what happened to the people on the inside who were very clearly sympathetic with what was going on and opening the doors wide open for that. And I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like none of that ever happened.
And in keeping with the New York Times' big media malfeasance week, well, it reports the U.S. may be losing the fight against monkeypox, scientists say. Truth-based media points out only 0.0002% of the population is infected with monkeypox. In other news, the laptop from hell makes another appearance. Corporate media feels the heat, and it has run out of the kitchen. While more images and incriminating texts and voicemails trickle out, MSM does its best to ignore, but the floodgates have opened. As Gateway Pundit reports, this video showing Hunter in a transaction for crack cocaine while naked was found on Hunter Biden's laptop from a backup of his phone. This criminal act should have landed him in prison for years. Where are the feds? And where is the wall-to-wall reporting we would have seen had it been the former president's son in the video? Kudos to Yahoo News for actually crediting the contents of the laptop as authentic according to Secret Service and pointing out why the leaks actually matter. While it's more sensationalism to share the hookers, drugs, and nudity, the laptop has revealed Biden's big lie. Quote, the president knew about his son's business dealings with China despite repeatedly claiming that he has never spoken to him about his overseas business dealings. Yes, I'm having to credit Yahoo News, not CNN, not MSNBC, not WAPA or New York Times, and a story with implications bigger than Watergate.
Hey, pals, Dad, it's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, is going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
The legacy media has also ignored that the Biden administration is restricting access to over 150 suspicious activity reports on Hunter and more salacious material released from his devices, according to American Greatness. However, thanks to the Washington Examiner, we do now know Hunter Biden's payments to a Ukrainian woman linked to an escort ring were flagged by J.P. Morgan Chase in late 2018 and early 2019 in a report filed with the federal government. This after President Joe Biden committed to wiring him a total of $100,000 to help pay his bills. What's this conversation with an escort about?
Everything fine? Are you hurt in any way? Any way? Are you hurt? Hey, is anything hurt on you? Anything? I was literally saying, I'm sorry that it took so long to give you $10,000. Do you have any, Bruce, anything?
Hunter's computer is a treasure trove of information. And my concern about the way the Treasury Department, Justice Department may be using suspicious activity reports is they'll certainly use them against Republicans, but we don't have equal justice. We have a two-tier justice system, one that will treat with kid gloves or cover up for Democrats and their powerful friends, the elite, and the rest of Americans. And I think we're seeing that big time with Hunter Biden.
But are there signs the corporate media is turning its tide, turning on Biden to throw him under the bus? Now that inflation has hit yet another peak, here's CNN. Yes, CNN actually calling Biden out.
CNN's Caitlin Collins asked President Biden about inflation on December 10th. It's July now, on December 10th. And President Biden told her then that he thought December 10th was the peak of the crisis. Take a listen.
And I think you'll see it change sooner than quicker than more rapidly than it will take than most people think. Every other aspect of the economy is racing ahead. It's doing incredibly well.
Now, obviously, the war in Ukraine has happened since then, which is partially to blame for higher gas prices, although Putin's forces were on the border right then. But it just seems clear that the Biden administration has misjudged how bad inflation was going to get for months and months and months.
New York Times has come out with its own hit pieces concerning Biden. Quote, he often shuffles when he walks, and aides worry he will trip on a wire. He stumbles over words during public events, and they hold their breath to see if he makes it to the end without a gaffe. It also published a poll that shows 64% of Democrats want Joe Biden out and a new candidate in for 2024. CNBC is even highlighting Biden's dismal approval ratings lower than the worst scores ever for Donald Trump. And while most of the media ignored the Durham investigation until a jury nullified his case against Clinton lawyer Michael Sussman, now they have something else to ignore.
Counsel John Durham's probe into the origins of the Russian investigation is heating up again. Today, he asked a federal court to subpoena witnesses to testify in the trial against a Russian lawyer who allegedly served as British ex-spy Christopher Steele's primary source in that infamous Steele dossier. Well, Durham's filing requests the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia issue 30 subpoenas for witness appearances in Alexandria, Virginia. That's beginning October 11th.
Bringing you what's ignored, sensationalized, unbalanced, misleading, or just plain false. That's your Media Malfeasance for the second week of July. Let's just wrap up with some wise words from VP Harris.
Together, we are expanding access to transportation. Seems like maybe it's a small issue, it's a big issue. You need to get to go, and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home. So we have expanded access. You need to get to go, where you need to go. You need to get to go, where you need to go. You need to get to go, where you need to go to do the work and get home. So we have expanded access to transportation.